Well, I grew up in a time right in the middle of the civil rights movement. I was probably too young at the time to understand everything that was going on. I just knew that things weren't equal. And to a young person, that's disturbing a lot of times because you feel that, hey, I should be able to do and go where I want to go. And at the time, you just couldn't do those things. You go to back doors to restaurants, back doors to, the doctor's offices, if the doctor would see you at all. And those type of things that, really affect young people. It's very easy to be bitter, but it serves no real purpose to continue the bitterness over the years. And I grew to accept that that was part of the culture. It wasn't right, but it was. But growing up in that culture actually helped me to be the person that I am and to take things and people for who they are. Now, through saying all of that, I met some wonderful, wonderful people during those very turbulent times, and Judge Julius B. Ness was one of them. He was a white judge in Bamberg, South Carolina. He was my American Legion coach. He was very instrumental in my going to college, and I became very good friends with his family, and his son and I are very good friends, Richard Ness, right now today. So as turbulent as those times were, there were some very good times, and I really had a happy childhood and contribute those bad times, good and bad times, to the person I am today. Oh, baseball has been like a recreation to my family. It's a tradition. If you were born into that family or played with that family, baseball was mandatory. You had to learn how to play baseball. That's what we did on the weekends. We would work all week on the farm, and on Saturday mornings we would work again. But midday Saturday, it was time to play. And my father was an avid baseball fan. He loved the game. He taught me very, very well. And some of the things that he taught me on the farm about playing baseball, I used in my professional career because those philosophies still stand today. And it wasn't so much about the technique of the game. It was more about the mental side of the game, of doing the best you can, and everyone is different. So I grew up on a baseball field, and I learned late some of the technical things of the game, probably which explains why I wasn't better as a pro than I was. But I survived, and thank God that I learned a lot of things from my father early in the game. To say that I was one of the good guys, I wouldn't think I was a good guy. But I think to label the other guys as bad guys is very overstated. They weren't bad guys. They were unusual athletes. They enjoyed their free time, and I think we need to honor that. We may not agree with it, but we have to honor the fact that on their free time, they did what they wanted to do. But the one thing you have to respect is when they came to the ballpark to play, there was nobody better than those guys. So I'm honored to be a part of their team. I'm honored for them to be called friends, and we will continue to be friends as long as we are in contact with each other. Well, I think that everyone knows just about everything there is to know about those guys. There's been so much been written, good and bad, about that 86 team. I don't think no one has been omitted. But Straw, when he came onto the scene, I'll be honest with you, I was one of the most envious persons in the world because he was the perfect athlete. I mean, he had the body, he had the speed, he had the power. He had everything that every baseball player dreamed that they could be. And he was amazing to watch as a youngster, and I enjoyed playing with him. Keith Hernandez, on the other hand, now here's a guy who was probably one of the most intelligent ball players I've ever had the opportunity to play with. Very good friend. I learned a lot from him. He was more than just a good ball player on the field. The way he taught the game and demanded the respect of the players was second to none. And he was definitely a first-class leader on that ball club, and there hasn't been anybody better. Not on any club that I've seen, anyone that has spoken, but he was a phenomenal, phenomenal person. Well, at that moment, it is probably one of the most exciting moments that I've had in my career. And to be able to be part of one of the greatest moments in baseball is just it's phenomenal. I mean, there are some athletes who dream of that, just being in that position, and I just happen to be there, and I've been very grateful for it. But it's a situation where we really shouldn't have won that ball game, and to be in a position to win the ball game after the guys before me, 3 guys before me, have 2 strikes and they end up getting hits. Then the pressure was on me to come up and do my part. And the last thing you want to do is let the team down. And that is what I was feeling at that point, is do not make the last out. You know, we need to get on base. And the pressure was there. But as it turned out, the Red Sox actually let me off the hook by the pitches and then throwing a wild pitch, allowing the tie and run to come in. And now it's just a matter of my putting the ball in play, and we all see what happened when that happens. You know, I just put the ball in play in first base, and Billy Buck, he missed it, something that shouldn't have happened, but it did, and we ended up winning the ball game and the World Series eventually after that the next day. I've been asked that question many times, you know, about how I felt about Buckner when he missed the ball. Did I feel bad for him? And the answer is no. I do not feel bad for him. Just one of those things that happens, and as a matter of fact, he don't want you to feel bad for him because you know, he understands that the game is full of surprises and disappointments, and he made a mistake. He made an error. That's something that happens in the game all the time. If it had not been for the World Series, no one would even give him second thoughts. But we've become very good friends over the years. We talk about it very candidly, and he is very, you know, receptive to talking about it, and he's open about it and honest. And I couldn't ask for any more. I think it's been a situation where he was in, and we just make the most of it.